Who really oppresses us? Who really is the oppressors of the world? Is it physical or spiritual? Let's talk about that. Yeah. Your Snapple Tea information, real fact number 478. Candles will burn longer and drip less if they are placed in the freezer a few hours before using. Just wanted to tell you that. Anyway, who is our real oppressors? I mean, we have all this, government thing. We have this, taxes. We have other countries. We have personal people in our family, our enemies. Sometimes our friend oppresses us. Sometimes our bills, how your house is going, repairs in your car. I mean, we just think everything is oppressing us. Help, I'm being oppressed. So, who really is behind that oppression? Well, if we take the biblical stance, there's only two reasons why things are like the things they are. One, demons and the devil have control over a lot of things physically of the earth and can tempt us in all different ways. Or it's sin. Sin is behind evil. Evil exists because there's sin. And so who really oppresses us is sin and the devil and his cohorts. That's behind those things. That's why our war is not a physical war. It is a war against principalities and darkness of this world. And so when we think about that, if we're not fighting against physical means, if we're not fighting against people, then we get to love our enemies, because really they don't understand that they're being used by evil things. And so we need to love people. And so when you see Zephaniah, after he says these 2 chapters to God, and God responds to him, and they're talking back and forth, he prays this prayer, and at the end of the prayer, the second to the last verse of chapter 3, he says this, and he prophesies this. He says that here's God, and he's going to deal with this. So when we look at the word oppressor, we're not thinking physical oppression here. We're thinking like spiritual evil. And that evil is dictated through physical means. So our war is not against physical, our war is against evil and sinfulness. And so here we go, Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 19. Behold, I am going to deal at that time with all your oppressors, death, shame, guilt, sin. I will save the lame. What kind of lame? The lame who can't really walk in their own righteousness, lame in their own spiritual means. They have to have Jesus. And gather the outcast. Who's the outcast? Everybody who doesn't really follow God. Even some of the Jews wouldn't even follow God. I mean, they wouldn't even follow his decrees. So they were called outcasts. So he'll gather the outcasts, and I will turn their shame into praise. How are you going to do that? Well, it's a spiritual thing. And only Jesus can turn our shame into praise. And renown in all the earth. Who's the one that changed history forever? It's Jesus. Jesus, is the pinnacle of history of all things. I mean, he changed all things. Even if you don't really believe him as the Son of God, he has changed history forever. Literally. And so, this was fulfilled in Jesus. He did bring somebody to take care of our oppressors. He did take somebody here to take care of our shame and our guilt and to make us renown and to let us walk in God and not be lame anymore. See, this prophecy was awesome, because not only did God help the physical oppressors of Israel at that time, but also this was in the future, and he was talking spiritually also. And spiritually, we are as free as anybody could be. No matter what country we're in, no matter where we're at in the world, no matter what oppressive government is on us, we are free. We are free in Jesus Christ. Our kingdom is not here. Our kingdom is not something physical in nations or worlds or countries or continents. It is not physical anymore. Our kingdom is Jesus Christ and spiritual, and he took care of the oppressor. He took care of the shame and the guilt. And so when we run to Jesus, when we are with Jesus, we have peace and understanding and love and joy beyond all measure. So my encouragement for you today, who is taking care of your shame and your lame and your guilt and your sin and your oppressors? Who's taking care of that? Or you think you're taking care of that physically by getting angry at people? No. We need to actually back up and say, look, God took care of those things that we cannot take care of. The spiritual oppressors, the spiritual people who make us lame, the spiritual things who are out there against us. And so, my encouragement for you today is, who's doing that? You can't do it. Or Jesus. And he can save you, and he can give you freedom. I love you, Jesus. Love you too. You have a great Friday. I'll see you Sunday morning. 9:30 is class 101. 11 o'clock is service. You can be in person or you can watch on Facebook Live. And have a great weekend. Hopefully you get some rest. And hopefully this heat breaks too. All right, love you, bye. I had actually 3 people